Welcome to week 2, module 3. Praying when you feel distant. Feeling distant from God is a big thing that most Christians struggle with. But never let your feelings try to distort the truth. Emotional distance happens. Okay. When I tell you, when I was making this and I read don't read the last line first. No, don't read the last line. I want to get into it. Emotional distance happens. Listen, connection fluctuates, but God's presence does not. A delay in God working does not mean that he's not there. A delay in God doing something that you thought he was going to do, or a delay in your season does not mean God is absent. When God says he will never leave you nor forsake you, he's not lying. And the way to understand God's promises and know he's not lying is to repeat those promises. So when your connection with him is lagging, it doesn't automatically equal that he's not there. Now I'm going to give you a little revelation that I got when I was making this. When your Wi-Fi is lagging on your phone, your devices don't work that well. Do you believe someone came in your house and stole the router and the router's not there anymore? Or do you go and fix the connection? Now let's tie it into God. When God seems like he's delaying, we tend to believe he's not there. When God feels distant, when God feels like he's not there, especially when we're struggling even more mentally, we're like, what's going on? God probably left. Fix the connection. Fix the Wi-Fi router because the Wi-Fi router didn't leave. Fix the connection. Don't think that he left. Because listen, like I said, I want to drill this into your brain. When God says he will never leave you nor forsake you, he's not lying. Trust him. Trust him. Now, here we're going into urgency versus staying. Fear moves ahead even without thinking. Trust has patience and allows you to stay. Listen, now we're going to tie this into Saul. Saul moved ahead of instruction because he didn't see Samuel. But if he trusted that he was coming, the urgency to act wouldn't have been present. When it comes to being disobedient to God and acting out of his will, we need to remember that the urgency can be stopped by trusting. We need to catch ourselves when we think that the urgency needs to be done right now. God's not moving. Let's do it right now. Do it now. Do it now. Do it now. Fix this. Fix that. Fix this. We need to do this. What if I? No. Trust. Trust God. Trust that just like Samuel told him to wait for him, and Saul was waiting and he felt the delay, so he acted. If Saul trusted, he wouldn't have done disobedience. So trust. How much times have you moved ahead of God because you didn't see his hand working, so you took control? This is how I want to tie it into 1 Samuel chapter 13. It's because we tend to do that a lot. We tend to take control. We tend to surrender something to God, and when he's not moving fast enough, we take it back. And I want to give you an example of how you feel this is how you'll pinpoint if you surrendered something to God and you took it back. This is how you'll know. When you surrender something to God and you take it back and you don't realize, this is how you'll know. 1, you start feeling burdened over yourself about the situation. You're currently thinking constantly about the situation and how you're going to fix it. 2, you rely on yourself to fix it more than you rely on God. When the delay happens, you start thinking, what can I do? How am I going to fix this? Just like the first one I just told you, the burden becomes weighing on you. 3, you trust yourself more than you put the trust in God. Once you feel that fear moving in, that's how you know that you stopped surrendering it to God and you started surrendering it to yourself and you took it back. But my friend, don't beat yourself up even when that happens, because this is a common occurrence. I'm not trying to condemn you. I'm not trying to push like all these things on you, trying to make you feel like shame and like you're a bad Christian, because you're not a bad Christian. Honestly, we all fail, we all struggle, but it's what we do with that will change the outcome. It's what we do with that will change how we feel about ourselves. Because listen, honesty builds intimacy. Because listen, when we are honest with God, that is where shame is destroyed. Shame doesn't want you to be honest with God. Shame wants you to creep up into a ball, sit in your bed in the corner, and just be like, I can't go to God. But instead, you got to be honest, buddy. Go to God and tell him exactly how you feel. Because when you feel the connection between you and God lagging, don't automatically fall into deep thoughts of fear that he left. Instead, draw near to him and be honest. Tell him how you feel. If you dislike something going on in your current situation, tell him, because he wants to be close to you at all times. And don't think that, oh, God already knows, so I don't really have to pray to him. God already knows, so I don't have to tell him. Don't think that. Because when you don't rely on God, even with things that he already knows, the reliance on God helps you. The reliance on God, even when you know that he already knows. Listen, God does know everything that happens in our lives. But when we know he knows, but when we give it to him and tell him how we feel about the situation, and don't think that he already knows, that's when the burden comes off of our backs. That's when the weight gets off of us. So start being honest with God. Start being honest. We got to remove the performance aspect of being honest with God, because it's hard to be honest with someone where you feel like you need to be like in a script. You have to make the perfect prayer. You got to say all these Bible verses, or you got to format the prayer this way. Prayer is not a presentation. We're in a presentation right now, but listen, prayer is not like this presentation where everything is structured perfectly. And no. Prayer is a conversation between you and God. So don't feel the pressure that you need to use big words or format your prayer a specific way. Because when you start feeling like that, it's going to be so hard to be honest with God. It's going to be so hard. So let the conversation between you and God flow like one between you and your best friend. Because listen, God is our best friend. He's my bestie. He's all our besties. He's a girl dad too, but he's my best friend, bro. When I tell you, I be talking to God, like I be at work and I'm just like, what do you think I should have for dinner? Because like I'm really hungry right now. Like what are your thoughts? That's a prayer. A conversation. It's not where you go on your knees and you just pray long prayers with words that are so extravagant from the Bible. No. I want you to dig deep in this. Prayer is not a presentation, it's a conversation. Now, we're going to do a quick 3-minute practice. If you are in public and you don't want to, you're going to be having a conversation with God. But if you're in public, say it in your mind. Or if you want to say it out loud, it's fine. But if you're at home, you can say it out loud if you want, however you want to do it. Let's start. We're going to breathe in deeply, in and out 2 times. Ready? In, out. 1. In, out. 2. Now I'm going to start a 60-second timer. And I want you... Hold on, let me go this timer real quick. Maybe I should have been like prepared with this. Why is it doing that? Okay. 60 seconds on the clock. I want you to start a conversation with God right now, either in your head or out loud. And this is what I want you to tell him. How do you feel right now mentally? And basically be honest with him. Don't hold anything back. Tell him how you feel, what you hate about what's going on in your current season. Be honest with him. 60-second timer starts now. Timer's over. With this practice, this is exactly what I want you to do. Every day, buddy. Every day. Whenever you're in a season, even if you're in a season right now, when it honestly, not even when you're in a season, when you're even in a place where your thoughts are attacking you and you feel a weight on your shoulders, I want you to do this, the 3-minute practice. Breathe, be still, and speak. Breathe, be still, speak. Be still. Trust God, but lean into Him. I want you to make Him your biggest priority because that's who He is supposed to be. He should be number one. But when it comes to being honest with Him, you have to do that in order for the shame to decrease. Be honest with the Lord. Now, this is the end of the module for the reflection. I want you to ask yourself, what makes prayer feel unsafe? And what assumption am I making? Ask yourself those 2 questions. This is the end of the module.